Hello, it's me. Welcome back to the channel of motorbike nonsense. And I never thought this day would come. It's a Monday. I have Mondays off most of the time. It is sunny. It's 15 degrees. I'm wearing summer gloves. Both my kids are in nursery, and I've got a KTM 1290 Super Adventure S, which is mine, and I've not done any big trips on it yet. So that changes. Today I am going to do my biggest trip yet on this. I am going back to, well, do a bit of a nostalgic thing really. Yes, I'm quite a nostalgic old geezer, and I was lying in bed the other night thinking about the start of my biking career, kind of when I was 24, 25, 26, those formative years. I hadn't got my car license, but I'd got into bikes in a pretty big way. I lived in Essex with my mum, and I just found some of the best roads, which I really miss today. I live in Surrey now, everything's grown up, it's all 50 limits, and the roads are okay, but they're a bit busy. So I'm going to go and rediscover the roads of my youth today on my new bike. I've not ridden any of these roads for about 10 years. I've not got a sat nav other than my phone in my pocket, so I'm just going to follow my nose and have a big day out on my new bike in the sun. And to me, life doesn't get much better than that. Days off don't get much better than that. So I've just filled up. It says I've got 170 miles to 23 litre tank. Hopefully that improves. I think it's because I was hooning it over the weekend. And I've not done any big trips on this, so I'm interested to see what good fuel economy it gets in 6th gear around the motorways. But then we're just going to cut to some cool roads in Essex, and I'll try and explain what makes those roads special to me and what bikes I remember riding on them, what happened with my mates, the time I nearly had my first head-on crash doing a dodgy overtake, and the car that was coming the other way was a Ferrari F50, which would have been really embarrassing. But anyway, that's all to come. It's going to be a bit of a waffly vlog, but we're going to Essex, so that's where I'm from. If you couldn't tell, you might think that I'm from the Palace of Westminster from my voice, but actually no, Essex lad, innit? So I'll see you in Essex. I'm going to cut out the M25 because that'll be boring as. Dartford crossing time. I don't think I've ever been through the left bore of the tunnel. Right bore crew. Oh, what a lovely day. I've been using lots and lots of radar cruise control. I've taken out rally mode because you can't use it in that. Stuck in sport mode and set it to the same speed as the traffic. Yeah, really quite comfortable. Bit of wind noise off the screen at advanced motorway speeds. And I think by the end of the day the seat is going to get on my nerves a bit. It's a little bit firm, but I don't mind because I've already ordered the gel one, the heated gel one, the high heated gel one, to raise me up 14 mil as well. But anyway, boring tunnel chat. That is a really cool new Alpina estate. I can't imagine it's not a press car, but anyway, let's go out of the darkness and into Essex. Right, we're getting there. We're getting close to my my childhood driving roads, riding roads, really. We're starting on that most famous of fun roads, the M11 motorway. Now, I've just cut into London. I came across the Dartford crossing coming north, came up the A13, and I wanted to get to Chigwell because I guess towards the end of my first 4 years riding motorbikes, I moved to London with my mate Paul, and I had a Triumph Speed Triple 1050, the 2011 one, the first one with the weird shaped headlights, and I moved it into a flat in London with him. And then this was kind of the end of the first phase of my motorbike career, because for the first 3 years I had 3 brand new bikes, all financed to the eyeballs. I was a young journalist being paid bugger all. I had no savings, but you know, I could afford the HP monthly payments on Black Horse's latest finance or whatever. So I just got new bikes every year pretty much, and it worked for me. It worked for me. I mean, I never really owned them or paid them off or anything, but yeah, so I lived in Wanstead, and every weekend I managed to convince my mate Paul to buy motorbikes. He bought he had a CB125, and then his first big bike, once he'd done his CBT, he joined my throngs of people I've convinced to buy a street triple. So he had a roulette green Triumph street triple. We used to come up here, one junction or 2 junctions off at Chigwell, and we'll see where we went. I was on my speed triple, he was on his street triple, his sounded better, and we had some fun. So those are the roads that I'm heading to. Whoops, I missed the turn off, but at least I can show you a building in there. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a big building over there, that brick building. That's where they print all of the banknotes for the UK. It's super high security. Okay, due to the unique way the UK motorway system works near the M11, I've had to come about half an hour out of my way because I missed that junction, so I'm just going cross country to get back to Abridge where I want to start this ride. Goodness me, this video is going on a bit, isn't it? But not even started yet. But fuel economy fetishist, you'll be pleased to know I got 53 mpg on 70 miles of dual carriageway, which is pretty good really for a 1300cc V-twin. So my fuel tank reader hasn't really moved much. It's still saying I've got 180 miles to the tank and I've done 75 miles, so I should get about 250 miles to the tank cruising. Anyway, that's boring, let's go and have some fun. Right, we've begun our tour d'Essex in Abridge, which is kind of just inside the M25. No, it's not inside the M25, or is it? I can't remember. Anyway, it's a small town that we would leave London via and go north, and it's already looking pretty Essexy. People don't understand that Essex is very, very pretty. It might not be super hilly, but the countryside is big, plentiful, and that means the roads are good. They might be slightly covered in mud. I've already seen two reasonably Essex things. I've seen a Range Rover Evoque convertible in white. I've just seen someone look like they were doing the school run in their Rolls Royce Cullinan, which is hilarious. And there's a garden up here somewhere that has bridges in it. Here we go, look. You know you've made it when you've got not one but two bridges in your garden. I mean, look at this. It's glorious. I mean, it's not really scenery, is it? But it's not central London. Bloody love the torque on this thing. Is sensational. I think that might be a lay-by me and my friends used once to do my very first YouTube video in 2011 of the noise of my speed triple ragging it up and down. If it wasn't that lay-by, it was one down here. We all used to have Arrow 3-into-1 exhausts on our street triples and speed triples, and we used to make quite a lot of noise. I'm not sure I would bother putting full systems on a bike these days unless it is something old like that. Old, feels old and weird saying. A 2009 Street Triple is probably a modern classic, isn't it? Something like that, a bit wanky. I'd quite like to have another one, but I'd get the R version. I only ever had the Bogo Street Triple. All my friends had them as well, and they were fine. I mean, I'd only been riding a year. Oh no, this was it. This is the lay-by. We used to park our bikes in there and ride up and down past the camera, which was probably an iPhone 1, and put it on YouTube, and you'd get some likes. I wonder if I've still got that video up. I might link to it. I used to do it with my dad's Thruxton as well. He had the old 900cc Thruxton with some Triumph off-road exhausts on it, and that sounded very potatoey and nice. Oh, body kitted Bentayga. I told you we're in Essex. Alright, so I'm sort of heading to Chippenham now, which was kind of the hub of lots of good roads, and then decide whereabouts I'm going to go from there. I'm probably going to be heading north towards Dunmow, and then maybe stop in at the Triumph dealer if it's still there, where I bought my first three bikes. And that was kind of again a hub of my my biking career in the early days. And then I'm going to go to Finching Field, which is a massive cliche because it's probably the biggest, most well-known biking spot in Essex, but it's very pretty and it has a windmill, so I'd be a dick if I didn't go there. And also I remember standing on the green there once. Oh, I see a policeman up here. Thank you, friendly BMW driver. Oh yeah, there is indeed a policeman recording my speed. Is he going to pull me in for a chat? He's already snared someone. Do you think I can get a wave out of him? Yeah, I got a nod. So yeah, going to Finching Field, there's a windmill. There's also Jaguar XJ220. I wonder if that's still there. But anyway, I always really like these bends. Be interested to come back and do this on a Daytona 675 like I used to. This one always used to scare me a bit. That's fine. Yeah, my Street Triple never had the mojo to loft a little one off there. I loved this corner. It's nicely cambered, you can suck it in, up the hill, and then into 30 limits. I think this is Chippenham. Look at that. Is that a real thatched cottage? I don't know. It's real thatch, but Is it wearing a merkin? There's lots of nice cars around here. I've just seen a Lamborghini Urus also doing the school run. Yeah, Essex has come up a bit since I lived here. This all used to be cobbled, I swear. I wonder when they got rid of those, probably about 12 years ago. Go on, gent. You get off, cross your wobble with your milk. The last time I came up here through Chippenham, I still don't know if this was the railway. Hello. Last time I came through this was 2017, and I don't want to sound like a twat, but I was in a Ferrari 488 with my brother. While I was working at Carlisle, we had one in for a drag race, and well, it wasn't even a drag race, it was a review. And I borrowed it, took a day off, drove it from London with my brother to go and see my dad in Norfolk, and we came this way. And I remember swapping the driving with my brother up here, and he had his first time driving a Ferrari, which I borrowed for a couple of days, all insured, obs. I think I told Ferrari he was my photographer, lol. Yeah, and we stopped up here, and then he had his first experience driving a, what were they, 700 horsepower 488 Ferrari, massively turbocharged, really wide, as you'll see on some reasonably tiny roads, but it was good fun. It was just didn't sound particularly exciting because it's a turbocharged Ferrari. Anyway, I'm waffling. I remember it was precisely here I was on my Daytona 675, my mate was in his Mark 1 Mazda MX-5. All my mates had street triples and MX-5s, but I overtook him in second gear, full throttle, with the Arrow shark mouth carbon tipped slip-on exhaust on my Daytona. He had the roof down and he said his ears were basically ringing for the next couple of hours. And it sounded like an old Formula 1 car, and it did. Motorbikes did used to sound amazing not that long ago, and if you do have the chance, do ride a Daytona 675 with an Arrow exhaust on it, because it sounds pretty next level. It's just such lovely old buildings. Hello fellow KTM man and Triumph man. I've never seen that house before. Bloody hell. I wonder how many bales of cocaine you have to sell a week to buy one of those. I mean, this is Essex, it's all selling eyelashes in bulk, I think. Clatterford End. I bet lots of Ducatis owners down here, Clatterford. I don't know why I'm blipping my downshifts, I've got a down blipper. Oh yes, I remember these bends. I seem to remember there's a manhole cover in the middle of one of them, and I hit it with both wheels in the wet on my Honda Blackbird once, and I didn't feel very clever. There's a lot of crap in the road. It's a new road surface, but loads of mud on it. Oh, it feels good to be back in you, Essex. It does. I forgot how pretty you are when the sun is out, and there's just so much space. Where I live in Surrey, the houses, even in the countryside, are reasonably jammed in on top of each other and also cost about £10 million. Here you can just see for miles. See, I can see corners down there. I think I remember coming down here on my speed triple with my first ever GoPro. Yeah, fourth gear, a little hop off there. Yeah, these are the corners that I seem to remember are worth slowing down before, because yeah, they've been bumpy, and this one's got a lot of crap in the middle of it. And I seem to remember this one is the one with drains in the middle of the corner, in the middle of the road. Oh no, maybe not, maybe this next one. I swear there's a corner with drains on it. Now, do you wish the brakes on this had a little bit more bite? That's my only criticism of it. Yeah, that used to be drain corner, they've obviously moved the drain. I know this is exciting YouTube content that you can here for. Which corners have drain covers? Whoa, bloody hell. Bars completely coming loose in my hands in fourth gear. Stay there, Mr. Dubadoo. God, those houses never used to be there. That used to be a field. I'm going to sound like such a grumpy old bastard, aren't I? Am I going to get stuck behind a Toyota just as I get to these corners? Je pense, je suis. That's fine. I have to share the road. And also, actually, it's on this road. I was riding with my mates on their street triples and things like that, and I was always taught to be able to stop in half the distance you can see to be clear, because obviously they say be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear, but what if someone's going the other way, blah blah blah. And it was round one of these corners up here. You know, take this guy. Oh, rev limiter. Yeah, this was all grown up. And somewhere up here, I think it's this corner, maybe further on, we came round the corner at 60ish, as you tend to do, 60ish on a country road, and there was a tractor in the middle of the road. There was a combine harvester pulled out of the field, and we all had to do full emergency stops. And this was in the days before ABS on motorbikes. And from that day on, whenever I get the temptation to ride stupidly quickly down a road that I can't necessarily see around all the corners, that comes to mind. That kind of has probably saved my skin a few times, remembering that combine harvester street triple interface, or nearly interface. Yeah, this is the road my bus used to take me to journalism school on. Very exciting. Didn't used to go that fast. Right, 107 miles into the trip. I've just stopped for a quick photo here on the village green at Hatfield Heath, because I used to stop here to take photos of my bikes back in the day when I were 20 something. And also, as I said, my bus used to come through here on the way to journalism college, which is fundamental to my life for several reasons, that bus, because yeah, doing journalism at Harlow College after my degree kind of got me into journalism, and that's why I ended up being able to write about cars, film cars, motorbikes for a living. So I'm thankful to Harlow for that. I'm also thankful to Harlow because I met up with a uni friend for lunch when I was there. We used to meet up kind of once a week for lunch to talk about how horrible Harlow is. And that girl is now my very long-term partner, with whom I have 2 children. So without that bus to Harlow, I wouldn't have kids or a family. I'd probably be a bit miserable, to be honest. So yeah, this road has significance. Anyway, I'm going to turn right here and head towards Dunmow, home of the dealer where I bought all my first bikes. I don't know if it's still there. It's probably not open on Mondays. It's almost certainly not staffed by the dealer principal that used to run it, who was the grumpiest motherfucker I've ever met. Hello, nod. You don't nod. Well, he's on a Triumph, so I reckon that's a loan bike. Was that 1200? I don't know. But yeah, he used to be run by a super grumpy old man. But he did sell me my first street triple, literally by letting me sit on it and start it up and rev it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll buy one. There used to be a nice duck pond down here. I wonder if the same ducks are still alive. I doubt it. Everyone's got gates on their houses. It's all very fancy. These roads can be a bit gravelly and a bit gnarly, so I'll take it reasonably easy because I don't want to come a cropper. And also the biggest hospital around here is right behind my mum's house, so she'll have no excuse not to come and see me if I do fall off. Love you, mum. Get some flapjacks on. I remember hating these bends as a new rider because they were always a bit I like them now. Yeah, these roads taught me a lot about doing decent overtakes. What's that doing? I think that's broken. This is my chin one still working. Yes. Yeah, these roads taught me a lot about doing decent overtakes and getting confidence in corners as well, because there are lots of places where you can overtake, as in there aren't solid white lines, but there are so few places where it's actually you get enough of a view to do it. Like here, it's a blind crest, you can't overtake there. So yeah, I didn't learn by crashing and dying, I learned by just being a bit sensible. So yeah, I can see now, and they'll probably wave me past, but let's just go past in the 3rd gear, right. Yeah, it also taught me a lot about reading the hedge lines and stuff as well, to work out which way the road is going, because the bends aren't always well telegraphed. Here it is, the place where it all began. It looks like it's open as well. It looks a bit different to when I last came here. It used to have it upstairs and a really grumpy bastard in there. I presume the grumpy bastard's not still a thing. Do you think they'll mind it? Oh, that was a KTM. I guess. Am I allowed to park there? I might just park on the road because that looks like a bit of a faff. Hello, Diavol, VFR. Some non-Triumph stuff, an Indian. But yeah, basically this used to be called Onga Motorcycles. It's now Triumph Essex. I guess it's part of Lings. And yeah, it used to be a slightly pokey Triumph dealer where my dad bought his Sprint ST 1050 from, so this was my default place to come and buy my first motorbike. Yeah, it's all a bit different than when I was last here. They have still got a Daytona 650 for sale inside, so if you want an old Triumph thingy, it's a good place to come. But anyway, I'm going to go on towards Finching Field now. My GoPros are slightly running out of battery and my spare batteries are slightly running out of life, so this video might end very abruptly, in which case sorry, but thank you for watching. Yes, let's go on. Right, I'm on the road to Finching Field now, nearly at the end of my Essex adventure. GoPro batteries are all dying or dead, so yeah, I'll do an outro on the phone, but oh, it's been amazing. And this behind me is Finching Field, my final destination, not in the logs falling off a lorry and killing me sort of way, but yeah, this is basically Essex's iconic biker hangout. You come here at the weekend, you can't move for bikes. It's pretty busy today and it's only a Monday. There's ducks, there's a windmill up over there. You can see, you can't see any of it. There's a windmill up there. It's really pretty, but anyway, that is the end of my adventure. I've done about 150 miles today. Longest trip I've done on the KTM so far, and obviously I've got to go home, pick the kids up from nursery, so I'm going to hotfoot it around the M25 back home. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you watched this, it's just been a bit of an indulgent nostalgia trip for me to revisit some of the roads I learned to ride on, but actually being able to ride them semi-decently now on something that does fourth gear wheelies off crests. It's great. I love this. I've just had my first error, a preload adjuster warning, so people on KTM forums will be telling me that that's just a thing. You have to turn it off and on again. It seems to have gone already. And the seat is a bit hard, but as I said, I'm going to change it. I've already ordered the gel seat, but otherwise, I really like it. 230 miles to a tank, hooning it off crests everywhere, out corners. It's so much fun. Not sure how much footage I'm actually going to be able to use, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching it. If you've made it this far, leave a comment calling me a sea turtle, and I'll see you next time when I probably won't be where I used to live. Goodbye.